So excited this week. We have so many things that we are going to cover and get done in the high tunnel. We're already out there filling beds and all that type of stuff. Right now I'm taking celery and I'm going to plant that into the beds that my husband is filling. I've never grown celery, and apparently I have been very successful in growing celery as of yet. So we have lots of celery here. I am throwing all of this. Obviously some of these need to be watered. We'll make sure we water these right in. Okay. So all of these beautiful plants. Look how nice they are. Right here. There we go. And celery. So I have these celery here that I just brought in from outside, and I'm going to plant them here. I'll leave a little bit of space right by this fence in order to let the peas go in. Alrighty, so I am not a professional gardener. In case you guys did not know that by now. I am just digging holes and gonna plop some celery in there and hope for the best, basically. I think in a way that's good because you can realize that you don't have to be a professional gardener in order to plant things. You just shove them in the ground and for the best. And learn from your mistakes, but don't be afraid just to start something. That is what I'm doing here. I've never done like the celery before, but I'm just going to shove them all together, put them about 6 inches apart. Let's see. I have you at the edge of my bed, kind of. Let's see if I can show you what I'm doing or not. Maybe, maybe not. So in this bed I have some wood, and then I have some hay and seaweed, all the good things. I suppose you really can't see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm sitting on an egg crate, which has a big hole in it, because we're just gonna put this little baby in there and tuck it all around it. I'm just gonna do this for the whole bed, and like I said, hope for the best. So we are growing so much stuff. It's a grocery store right here. Gonna throw my little sign in there. Grocery store right in the garden. Really exciting. I actually can't wait to see how the celery grows and to learn about it. It's something new. If you are starting a garden, I highly recommend starting things that you enjoy eating that are like stable crops. Like grow things like tomatoes and green beans and things that are fairly easy to grow but will provide a lot of food for your family. So you just have them like this. And it's actually really windy. Really, really windy. I got a thing saying that they are going to mail me my my piece. So I got a tracking number for the door, which will help a lot. I can't wait for that. The girls just finished, literally like 5 minutes ago they finished painting the chicken coop, so I'm excited to go look at that and see what's going on. I think I'm gonna get a lot just in this one bed. I'm a little nervous planting in this bed, but I had so many celery, I really needed another space to plant it. So I'm actually trying not to pinch my bum on a broken crate. So I had so much that I just wanted to try another spot, but there's a lot of hay in here, so I'm afraid they might dry out because it says they need a lot of water. But I'm gonna give it a go. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm gonna plant it over the other side as well, which isn't gonna have as much hay. So we'll just see what works and what doesn't work, and we'll learn from our mistakes. And that's what you need to do when you start gardening, is just try it. If it doesn't work, you'll know for next year. And every year you learn new things, and that's what it's about. I'm gonna finish up this bed.
No, you go.
Dig a hole right here. Dig a hole. Dig a hole right here.
No.
And then I'll give you a plant. You want this plant? You're gonna put it in.
I messed up here.
Oh, you did it. Good job. Cover it up. Night.
I'm not sure what this fell out of, but it was in
That's okay.
celery.
We'll fix this chart. Night. Can you grow us a beautiful celery? Your plant's gonna grow a pretty celery. Okay, that's good. We gotta keep the leaves out so it grows, okay?
Want more?
You want more? You gotta make a hole. Make a hole here. No, don't throw it on the ground. Make a hole like this. Just like that. Now I want to put it in carefully. Carefully. Hold the bottom like it's a baby. Oh, so gently. Now tuck it in. Night plant. Good job. You're a great helper. Did you know you're a good helper? Ask Cheyenne. I only have one more spot there. Ask Cheyenne if you can help her. Oh, you okay?
Hang on, I gotta enter. Yeah. Okay.
Remember, guys, teach them today, even if they're making a hot mess, so you'll have good helpers tomorrow and years to come. So they're planting peas over there. This is the other side, if you guys can see. These beds are not filled yet. They're not filled with food yet. My husband so kindly filled all these beds with manure for me. These are kohlrabi. They're not too big yet, but I'm gonna start them. I'm gonna plant 6 here. And then here is my beets, and my beets are not doing well at all. I'm just gonna transplant these. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, whatever. And I'll probably put some seeds for beets as well. I'll see how far I get. So she is putting in Chinese noodle beans. Then we have the kohlrabi here. And then right here, these are sets of 3 of the beets. So I read that if you put 3 together, that it's best like that, and then leave about 6 inches in between. Okay, so this is our tree garden. Here are strawberries in here. This weed mat, I want to put another weed mat here, and then all the way over to the trees here. I just want to get this weed mat and then this like stuff killed that's in here. And then I want to try to plant potatoes probably like 4 feet in the middle here. Looks like a bunch of grass in here, but this is you can see all the garlic. This is all garlic. So we need to weed in here and then put some hay in there. Okay, so this morning we've had some pigs picked out and we had some pigs picked up. So this morning we actually had behind me, this used to be weed mat, and then we had flipped it over onto this section here. Now there is no weed mat at all. So what she is doing, if you can put those right in the center, that'd be great. What she is doing is she's starting down that end, and we're rolling the weed mat out a little bit, and then we're going to be putting some loom next to it so that this right here is going to be a bed. So let's walk down there. I know. I can't do that on my own. I can't lift the bed and Okay, so what we're gonna do, or what they're doing, is they're gonna just lift the bed up and shove it underneath, so hopefully we don't get grass and stuff that comes up through here. And then this right here, like from the edge of it over, is where we're gonna be dumping the loom. One second, she went to grab staples and I'm gonna show you. Right there. Oh. That's all right. They're like, fine, I'm freezing. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue doing this down. He's taking the dirt and he's putting it just over the edge here of that, and we're gonna make it wide so we have a nice wide bed over here. I'll show you. I'm gonna be cutting potatoes for an outside garden bed, and then my other daughter is bringing in some of our bigger tomatoes. This is how we work. We work doing like a bunch of things at once, and we're all working on different things. So I'll show you here for a minute. My daughter is bringing in the tomatoes, and we're just keeping them here so that we'll be able to harden those off there, because the rows they're working on right now is going to be a tomato row. I should be able to get about 90 plants in that row there. And then my other daughter, oh, I don't think I showed you this. We planted all of this here the other day. We got all of this is celery. There's celery in there. And then we have this here, which is, I had some kohlrabi and some beets in there. And then my daughter here is trying to break some of this up so that we want to do a weed mat. See, it's hard to point on here. A weed mat from this thing over that way too. So we need a weed mat in between this bed and the wood. I can't point. No, it's like backwards when I'm trying to point and I can't figure it out. Anyway, we're gonna do 3 foot of weed mat over this side where my hand is. Where she is standing, we're gonna do 3 feet of weed mat just like we're doing over there for this section here. This will have cucumbers and peppers and a bunch of other things. If you don't remember, this is actually our hoopler bed that she's working on, and this is how far we've gotten on that. So they started throwing some wood in here. So more than halfway. You can kind of see just what that looks like from, this is about 2/3 of the way down here. Yeah, kind of exciting. I'm gonna sit down at that little table and cut some potatoes for outside, which we will be working on either later today, probably tomorrow though, maybe even the next day, because I'd like to get at least this one row situated today, and that will be like the #1 focus of the day. So you can see kind of how this is looking here with the dirt over the edge a little bit, so it doesn't come up. And then they're moving it this way. It's getting tucked underneath here, and probably move it over to like where the tire is. That's probably how wide the bed is going to be. So they're working there first, so we're not like trampling along that. I think I'm gonna buy some seed potatoes, because these potatoes that I have, they do not look good at all. I don't know if they were sprayed with something or whatever. They were free to us. They're for the pigs. But I called the feed store, and they said they have 50-pound bags for $27. So I think tomorrow I'm just going to pick up a thing of seed potatoes and use those because I'm trying to do something totally different, and I want to try to cover them and everything this year. So I want to really try hard on my potatoes this year because I've had such a hard time with them. That I want to try to make it worth it. I'm gonna show you this stuff that we're working on. It looks so beautiful. This soil looks so beautiful. Look how gorgeous this looks. I'm super excited. So probably about 50% done with this here, because that's the rest of it there. I am going to go plant some of these in the end bed. So I have some zinnias and some carrots. Those are the zinnias that I started. I think I'm gonna plant those. I'm just gonna scoot by you. In this last bed right in the front. Then I'll have some pretty flowers right in the front. I love zinnias. I don't know, they're really happy flowers. So I'm gonna plant those in here. Alrighty, so this bed here is about 2 feet and a little bit more. So over here by this, we have some Chinese noodle beans planted in here. And I'm gonna take and make some rows here. I'm putting in zinnias, carrots, and zinnias. Like this. So, these are candy stripe zinnias.
No, just rocks. The rocks, leave the dirt. No, leave the dirt. Dirt needs to stay in the pile.
Planting them about 6 inches apart. I'll put that in after, or else you're just going to look at the tag and not at what I'm doing. So where I'm sitting now, we are going to put in weed mat after we're done on the other side. I don't know if it will be today or tomorrow. We'll do like a day-by-day thing to see how many days it takes us to get in this whole high tunnel, which is kind of exciting. We have a day that our new little lammy's going to be coming. We've been waiting for it to get big enough to leave its mom. So we'll be getting that, Lord willing, on Monday. And that's exciting. All right, so now I'm going to put, I have, let's see, these are a hybrid. It's Borlero, B-O-L-E-R-O, and that's from Johnny Seed. And I'm going to put these in the front about an inch apart. And hopefully these will just take off and we'll have some beautiful carrots. The kids are watering. They're pretty excited to water this morning, actually. I think it's just like the newness of being in the high tunnel. I had one of my daughters, she was working on stapling down that side that kept rolling up when we were rolling the when we were rolling up the side. So we got the staple gun out and rolled that up. And I see FedEx here. I wonder if my piece is here today. That would be super exciting to fix the door. That would be so super exciting to fix the door. I worry about putting the tomatoes and the peppers in without having the door fixed, because it's like harder to control the climate in here. So I'm kind of hoping that that FedEx truck that was slowing down is actually that. That'd be cool. I'm leaving a little bit of space in the front here. I might end up putting a dwarf sunflower, but I'm not sure. I might just leave it like this. I was thinking on doing some dwarf sunflowers like in pots and just putting them around because they're so cute. We started some blueberries in the house. We had cut those little snibbies off and they actually look like they're growing a little bit, so that's kind of exciting. We're just doing some experimenting. I think that you have to do that in order to figure out what works and what doesn't work. That's part of homesteading, is just experimenting with what you're doing.
Good job.
Pretty exciting times. May is always this time of change, and it always amazes me how much gets done. It seems so overwhelming at the beginning of the month, but then when you look back, I'm really actually excited to have like the videos for this, because we'll be able to look back and see what actually happened and what is going on. I hope everyone is out there getting a garden in, because it's so important, especially this year. All right, I'm gonna do the rest of this in seeds, so I gotta go grab some. I just got these from Dollar Tree. I'm gonna give these a go. I don't know how much I'll get. I think I'm gonna actually do just one. So I have like 2 rows up here of zinnias. I think I'm just gonna do 1 of these all the way down for the rest of this bed, and then I'm gonna do 2 rows of the carrots after there. Food is always top priority in our house. So the basic necessities of life, like food, shelter, we always, when I'm making my lists and such, I did a video about that, talking about like how I like make my lists a little bit, and I'm always making sure that I have at the top of my list is food. And for us, that's gardening. Like, gardening would definitely be one of those top priorities. Stop all stops and go and get food in the ground. So that is the time of year that we are in, is all stops, getting food in the ground. I'm actually watching this series called I think it's called Wartime. It's on YouTube. It's called like Wartime Kitchen Garden or something like that, which is really interesting. Also, I've been reading a lot about wartime gardens, which is, to me, quite fascinating. Maybe not to everyone, but I find it quite fascinating. And one thing that I noticed in all of these gardens was that they had very small rows. As far as walking paths, they had very small areas, because most of it was filled with vegetables. And I think sometimes, like, we don't realize, when we say garden, we're just thinking of, oh, somebody has a tomato plant here and there, or it's just for enjoyability, right? But in reality, like, one person, how much would you actually need? It's great to be able to eat fresh, but it's also great to be able to can up your food and to be able to do that. And we really just have to be wise with our time. So our time right here, right now, is getting the food in the ground. And I think that we are doing a lot smaller walking paths this year. Each half will have some larger spaces, but it's only 3 foot versus 4 foot. And then the other side is only going to be big enough that I can put a crate down, because a lot of times I like to put a crate down and move it along while I'm weeding. As I weed backwards, I would have the crate. So I'm making sure that we have that space. But aside from that, narrower beds, planting in between things like I'm doing here with the zinnias and with the carrots, making sure that those spaces are going to be full. Even after I get everything mainly planted, I'm going to go back through, check, see if there's double plants. We'll be taking those and moving double plants into like spaces that there's holes, and not leaving any space that could be used unavailable. So another thing is with our tomatoes, we plan on doing like tomatoes and beans next to each other, but also planting in between the tomatoes some beets. So we're gonna try that this year. Everything's like, try something new, right? Try it, see if it works. If it doesn't work, oh well. If it does work, great, you found something new that works well. And the pile is getting smaller, but we've been able to do a lot. We'll definitely be able to finish that row, so that's exciting. Okay, back out in the high tunnel, we brought a bunch of plants out here. I'm going to show you the plants that we have out here and my plans for right now, as well as showing you how far they actually got in the one side. So here we have all the peppers on these couple of flats here. and then a bunch of tomatoes over here. We do have other tomatoes as well, but they're really small, so I didn't bring those ones out. I'm gonna start taking those tomatoes and putting them along the end of this here, and I'm not putting them in the ground today. I'm just gonna kind of section them out so I know where stuff is going, and I might actually put bean seeds in. It got all the way down. See, he did all the way down here and all the way down there. So as you can see, this is all done here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put those tomato plants out a little bit on the back there, and then I'm going to put beans actually in the ground. Okay, so this is how we're laying them out. These right here up until here are Golden Jubilee. We're taking 1 foot and measuring the 1 foot in between the two here. We'll plant that side tomorrow. And I have a bunch of various bean seeds in here. These are all bush beans. I gotta organize these, and then I'll start back there and start moving my way this way. So then the rest of these she's gonna do, we're gonna start here and go with brandywines and keep working our way up that way. And then we have some Amish paste that we can do at the end that are just smaller. So we're gonna work on all those ones first and then fill the rest of the holes with Amish paste. Okay, so we have done provider beans before. I really like provider beans. I also picked up a couple other types of beans that I want to give a try to see what we like the best. So we have Jade, we have Strike, and we have Landreth, I think it is. So we're gonna try all of those. At the end of the row, I want to plant, I'll probably do pieces, bits and pieces throughout. Basil and marigold both are good repellents. And then I have just a small little bit here of yellow beans. Okay, I was trying to decide as far as spacing wise goes. I think I'm going to actually do 2 rows of beans. So I have this, and then the tomato. So that's about 8. When that's planted, it's gonna be about 8 here. I think that should be good. We're gonna give it a go. We want it densely done, and we have no green beans in the basement, so we need to get on this green bean thing. So there's the beans. We're gonna plant all the way down. So I just have the provider beans left. What I'm doing as I get to the end of a bean like this is I'm making a section. I'm either putting marigolds or basil in like this section here. So every 2 packages has a marigold or a basil in like that. So this is where we've gotten so far. I have the provider beans left, and then that over there. So this is all done here, all the way down. So the tomato plants stop right here. I need to go in the house and get some Amish paste, and then I planted the beans until right here. So I need to get Amish paste to go all the way to the end, and then I need to get some more beans to go from this to the end over there. And then it's like 4, close to 4 in the afternoon. And then I'm gonna get a piece of weed mat for right in here. I think that might happen tomorrow morning. We'll need to get the weed mat there for tomorrow morning and just have some stuff, have those out here. I do need to get the tomatoes out, so at least they're like gone off for tonight. So my son fixed the doors there, back on the track, so now it can close over. So yay for that. Let's go over this other side. Oh, it's so messy in here. So this is gonna get, they kind of went through till that fork thing there. I'm gonna flatten that down a little bit. We gotta get this weed mat along that row. That will probably be tomorrow. So overall, around this time of day, which is around 4 o'clock, I usually try to think of like how we're going to finish things up for the day and what the plan is for the following day. And that's what I've kind of done. I need to get tomatoes out here for tonight. Things are getting watered in, and then we'll have a plan for tomorrow as far as starting with the weed mat and then maybe putting tomatoes in and cucumbers. So we'll see you tomorrow. Morning guys, new day. I have to go to town pretty soon, but I'm trying to get some stuff done. The kids are trying to get some stuff done. We ended up not bringing those other tomatoes out for this row last night because they're really small. We're gonna let them get a little bit more size to them. So those tomatoes will need to get planted today. I'll show you what we're doing on this side over here. So I'll plant these tomatoes here, but that right there is gonna wait. So we are going to, daughter's working on like the last section down there, doing the heuchler bed, which means that the dirt from the front is going down there to go on the top of that section. And then we're looking at this section here to put down that weed mat there in here. So that should be like a 3-foot section there to put it down. Okay, so this does not have very thick like dirt. Like this is dirt under here, but it's like the clay. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my tomato plants and putting them in the soil sideways, because all of this here will all grow roots. So I just put them in there sideways like that. And then in between the plants, I'm moving over just a little bit and making a spot and putting 3 beet seeds. I have a big tote of beet seeds in here. 3 beet seeds in there, and then I'll move on to the other one. So basically this is the bean, then we have the tomato, beets, tomatoes. Yeah, I don't know what day it is, to be honest with you, because I forget what day I started on. But it's another day in the high tunnel, and we are working away. I am bringing my oatmeal out here, moving slow. I just took some Tylenol. My head is killing me. So we are going to work on 2 things today. I left this side open on accident last night, so I'm hoping that my plants survive. Kicking myself. I'm going to show you what we're working on. So yesterday my daughter got this weed mat right here. I'd like to get weed mat. I suppose I got to put my oatmeal down. I want to get some weed mat along here, that side there, and then I'm going to plant in here. We're going to do cucumbers and peppers over here, and then I also want to get some weed mat in here, in this little cubby hole right here. See, the tomatoes are down there that I planted. So yeah, that's the goal for the day. So in the past, when I did cucumbers inside of the high tunnel, the first year we hung them, I'm trying to see if you can see, we hung them like off of these right here. You can see the wire that we used up there, and so we strung them up in order to hang them off. Now when we did that, it worked out well the first year, and then the past 2 years we tried to do the same thing, and we had such bug problems, it was ridiculous. So now I'm trying to decide with my cucumbers that I have right now what my route wants to be. If I want to try to leave them on the ground and let them spread, if I want to cover them for the first little bit and then start to hang them up. So I'm just mentally trying to figure out what we're doing. I have both National Pickling cucumbers and straight 8 cucumbers. I'll probably plant the straight 8s first along that row up there. So I'm over here by this mound, and I'm going to show you the quality of the soil that we have in here, even after years and years of gardening in here. It is really difficult, but everything is on a budget. So I want to encourage you guys, like, it still will grow. You'll see throughout the season, like, this will still grow. And I am using what I have left, which isn't too much of the soil that we got from the guy. That's not top priority. We got the areas that we needed to get as top priority for our finances, and we need to rearrange, so that would no longer be top priority. We have some other things with the animals that need to become top priority, so that means that we will not be putting our finances into another batch of soil. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do, and it's still going to work. So all you guys that might have less than adequate soil, it's going to work. I've literally just like dug up yards and put stuff in, and it still grows. Is it better if you have better soil? Yeah, it probably is. but at the same time, you're growing more than you were growing to begin with. So let's see it. This is it. It is a lot of rock. There's rocks all throughout here, which I try to pick out the best that I can. But as you can see, it is very rocky. This is clay, hard clay. Like, I am squeezing this. If you break it, this is not ideal soil. This is like literally clay. I know a lot of people say they have clay soil, but this is clay soil. Like, my kids have made pots out of it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm looking up here. If I decide that I'm going to hang them off, I would need to have them planted on this side closest to me. So I am going to I'm going to give the end a little bit of space here, and then I'll start here. You're going to help me dig a hole. Yeah. I'm going to dig just a smallish hole, and then I'll add some of this soil in the bottom. And then I will add my plant on there. Trying to multitask with a little one in my lap as well. She's already with her handful of soil. There is 2 plants here. This is straight 8 cucumbers. I'm gonna put those in first. They look rough because last night was a rough night in the high tunnel because I forgot to close down the sides. But I wanna get them in the ground, and I'm gonna put some warm water on these and it should be fine. All right, so I just have 2 plants in here. I'm just gonna pull these apart into 2 separate plants and then bury this in. I'm sorry, I don't have very good. Bury this in here. Try to remove massive rocks out of there, and that should be good. Is it perfect? No, but I'm sure it will grow some fruit. So let's work our way down this row. So this is where we're at so far. This is what they look like all along here. My daughter is, let's see, right in the middle here. She has planted carrots along this side here, and she's hoeing the middle to plant carrots in there. And then we're going to be putting peppers on that side. So my daughter just prepped all these potatoes. This is 50 pounds of potatoes that we cut into sections to be able to plant. Alrighty, I am so hot. All right, these right here are delicata squash. These are all the sweet peppers. So this whole row, 10 inches apart, all the way down are all sweet peppers. And then I have just a couple delicatas here. We got to finish out this end right here. These are some hot peppers, which these are sweet peppers too.
Those need a bit in here.
Okay, so those are going to go at the end there. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of flowers in the middle here, maybe like a nasturtium or something like that to try to get the bugs away. And then from here down are all of the cucumbers. I don't know how many we have, maybe like 100, something like that. All the cucumbers here, so looking good. I think what I'm going to do is take this bed and that bed. I think I might take those 2 beds out and put them outside. So last year we went on vacation, and so we weren't able to, the first year, so not last year but the year before, we planted March 6th, and we had awesome brassicas. Like, our broccoli and our cauliflower were awesome. This year I experimented because we had such a weird year. I experimented, and one of the beds I did put in on the 6th. That was the one up here. And then the next one, I waited till the next week because I couldn't tell if they were going to live or not. This is the one that I put in the 6th. The next week, I planted the leeks and the other brassicas, which are there. So these and those were planted right after. So after that, I think the majority of them were planted like well after the 13th, which the year that last year we went to Williamsburg, and that was in March. So I didn't get to plant anything until much later. And then all the stuff that I planted, it gets so hot in here, all the stuff I ended up planted ended up sprouting, especially the broccoli. the broccoli was the worst. So everything like just bolted. So I think what I'm going to do, those 2 beds that I just pointed to is mainly broccoli. I think I'm going to take those and put those outside in the outside garden, and then I'll probably put some hot peppers in the beds that are over there. But I'm not upset that I did it this way, because I wouldn't be able to put those brassicas. They're already like really well established. So at least I'm taking the established broccoli and putting it outside, and hopefully we'll get something out of that. Just experimenting, guys. That's what you have to do to be able to like learn more about gardening and see what's best for your gardens. We ended up here. I'll show you. Let's see. Oop, there. This brown in the middle here. This brown in the middle here is burlap. And I saw something where you put like burlap over carrots. So what we have is we have the cucumbers, wait a minute, cucumbers here, then carrots, and then peppers there. So we are going to put some hoops over this bed because we're trying to eliminate the squash bugs or reduce the squash bugs, and I need to do that with the cucumbers. So basically we'll put it over until they start to flower, and then we'll take it off. So I have one hoop here. We're just trying to lay stuff out. We got the weed mat this morning on either side of here. It's hot. I have one side rolled up partially over there. Just rolled that up. We need to fix this side over here because the metal was like ripping up and rolling in there. So we'll have to fix that. Oh, so many things to do, so many things to do. I think for the rest of the day, we're gonna try to fix the end of this bed. I also had a little one, it just threw up on me, so we have to see, but she's acting normal, and she was like coughing before she threw up, and she just threw up like what she had for her bottle. I don't know. We've been passing this sickness yuck around, and I don't know if it's the sickness yuck or she like vomity, or the sickness yuck like she coughed too much or something. I don't know, poor thing. She wants to be outside playing. So at 2 years old, I'm not going to force her down. I probably am going to in a couple minutes. She didn't take a nap either. Probably in a couple minutes, I'm going to just maybe sit with her on the swing outside and see how that turns out. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to figure out what we're doing in here. Anyway, we're making progress, Okay, so these are the cucumbers, and we're trying to keep the cucumbers from getting buggies on them because we have a problem with buggies. So in the middle has carrots that has burlap on top of it to grow carrots, and then these are peppers, sweet peppers over here. So this hoop is 4 feet wide. We wanted to make this bed over here wider so that we'd be able to put hoops on here. So what they're doing, I'll come down a little bit and show you how they're doing the hoops. Is you can see we put them right through the weed mat here. So they're measuring it out. These are 6 feet, and then they're hammering in. This is a piece of rebar. We got 10 foot of rebar, and we've used an angle grinder to cut that at 1 foot sections. And this right here, this metal thing, is called electrical conduit. So we are shoving the electrical conduit into the rebar to make a semi-sturdy, I mean, it's really pretty sturdy pole here. Now, we had done something similar years and years ago. I had done something similar with PVC, and the PVC just broke really easily. So I ended up using this, and I was using these. I've had these for years, using these before we actually even got the high tunnel to try to cover over crops to extend my season. I got a bender through Johnny Seed, and so we just bent these electrical conduits ourselves, and it has worked great. If you are nearby and needed a couple bent, you could come over and bend them yourself. But if you're not nearby, you'll probably need to get one. Johnny Seed has a bender, last I checked. They're kind of expensive, but you have it forever. It's metal and it's not gonna like snap. So I think I'm going to be utilizing them more often, because my understanding is if I can get them covered, things covered before the, if I get them covered before the bugs get out there, then I should have more success. You gonna show me how to plant a cucumber?
Yeah.
Who taught you how to do it?
Hadassah.
She did.
I saw her do it.
You did. So you dig a hole, then what do you do?
And plant it.
And then you plant it. Do you have 1 or 2 plants in there? Let's see. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Bring it a little closer. I'll let you do it. I'll let you do it. I just want to show you. Look how many branches are down here. Is there 1 or 2 branches?
2.
2. Yes. So we're going to dump it out. Let's dump it out.
I want to dump it.
And now you can separate it into 2. So here you go. So hold your hand and squeeze that much.
This?
Yep. You got it. Oops.
You got both.
There you go. So put your holes over there. Remember? Okay. Just hold on. Put it in. And remember, we used the other soil. So there's some of that in the wagon. Do you want to get some from the wagon and cover it up? Here, you want a scooper? Fill it up with there you go, and the shovel. Go ahead. So literally, this is how we're watering right now, with watering cans, and everyone has been so helpful. She is getting more watering cans. Everything is getting watered with the watering cans. Hopefully, I don't know, we have a million projects, but we did just get yesterday our half of our watering system in from Farmer's Friend, and we are going to install that whenever we have a spare moment. Ha ha ha. Whenever we find a little bit of time. Did you fill it? Nice. Your plant's over there. See. Okay. Yep, your plant's right there. Do you want me to hold the plant for you while you dump the dirt?
Dump it next to it. Dump it.
Yeah.
Dump the container. There you go. Dump some on this side.
Nice.
Okay, now go push the dirt around it. Push the dirt over here. Push it. Look. Take this and you push down. You might need some more. Dump some more. There you go.
This little girl is going to put some flower seeds in here, and then I am going to make holes and put delicata squash. Now I don't want to put it up here because I'm hoping that it will trail kind of where I'm sitting. So I'm thinking I'm putting it like sideways in here, kind of, or like right at the edge. Morning, guys. It is Saturday. I've been up since about 4:30. Had kind of yucky numbers with Sweet Pea last night, so I'm heading in the high tunnel. I was up doing lots of shots last night because it just wasn't working. Her insulin wasn't working, or her body didn't like it, and I was, you can only give insulin so often. It's between 2 and 4 hours, depending. She was at a hair on my nose. She was over 350 for a period, so I'll do it every 2 hours if we're like up that high. Anyway, long night. Up, trying to give her insulin, trying to get it down. Finally this morning, it is down under 200, which is a blessing. She just ate, so I'm hoping that it stays stable. She got her insulin for what she ate. And so hopefully it will all work together. Okay, I'm going to show you, today is Saturday. I have to, this is going to be probably the last video for this week, and then it's going to be kind of like to be continued until next week, because tomorrow we need to start working on another big project, and my husband's going to be home, so it needs to be a project with him. So I'm going to show you what we've gotten done a lot this week in the high tunnel. I started to edit at the beginning of this video and I was like, wow, I guess we did do a lot. Sometimes it feels like you're working really hard and getting nowhere, but then when you look at like the beginning of the week to the end of the week, then you realize that, yeah, you're actually getting somewhere. So here is the overview. So, woo, look how beautiful that soil looks. And then these beds, this bed's not planted yet. And then you can see I stopped there, so I still need to plant that. And then I stopped way down there with the tomatoes. We gotta wait for the other tomatoes to grow a little bit bigger, and then we'll plant those. So this is this half of the high tunnel. And then this got planted. Remember, we did the zinnias and the carrots and then the zinnias. And then in the back, I actually have kind of opposite, because I have zinnias in the front and then I have 2 rows of carrots. And then I have Chinese noodle beans, I believe, on these ones here. All the way down is Chinese noodle beans. And then these beds right there are all celery. So then we move along here and we have our cucumbers. I started this front half until about here is all regular cucumbers, and then from there back is pickling cucumbers. In the middle here we have carrots. We are experimenting, so half of this has burlap and half of it does not. It's all carrots. We want to see what works better. And then this is all sweet peppers all the way down the end. Excuse me. So we are going to be working on some things obviously today, but I think it's going to be included in next week's video. So next week's video, you can expect to see why the heck these things are right here and what that looks like when it is done. You should also expect to see our potatoes. I'm going to go do that in just a minute. I'm going to just take you along this side here so you can see kind of how much things have grown. This was planted on March 6th. There are some radishes in here. There's actually radishes that I am going to show the kids, and they'll probably just pull those out and eat them. Some of the spinach can actually be taken out and eaten. And then we have some brassicas here. These are leeks, although some of these did not come up very well. So I think those were definitely not planted at the correct time. I should have maybe planted them either more densely or not so early. Some more brassicas. These are all mixed in, so it's cabbage and broccoli, and I don't think that I actually have cauliflower over here. It's mainly broccoli and cauliflower. So these are all broccoli. What I'm going to end up doing, most of these are broccoli till we get down there. What I'm going to end up doing is taking some of these out and putting them into our other garden. Oh, I did get this weed mat right here. See, it's really like a tiny space in between the two. Is taking some of these out, putting them outside into the other garden, and then some of these beds will actually have some hot peppers in them. So, and then we have some strawberries down here. Now this back section, this is where we stopped with the peppers. We're finishing up fixing this here. We also had to clean. See, I still have this stuff that needs to get cleaned out. So this is yard sale stuff. Hopefully today I'm going to get the yard sale stuff to go outside or out someplace for the yard sale. And then this stuff right here, I think I'm going to put the compressor into the barn for now. and yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's gotta get cleaned up. So here is the back door, and I'm gonna have weed mat in this area so that on this side you'll be able to walk across. Those are the tomatoes there. So there'll be a path. Hard to get at this angle. So there'll be a path like here where you can see the weed mat down here. There'll be a path here with weed mat, but coming back, Lila, out. You're not allowed in here. Out. Lila. Oh my goodness. You're such a booger. I was coming out. This section here is going to have 2 rows coming back here and then a row down the center. That will be for another time. Our dog eats grass. Do you see your dog eat grass? Okay. So I hope y'all are in your gardens and feeling as tired as I am. I don't want you to feel as tired as I am, but I think that it's a good feeling, right? At the end of the day, you're tired and you've done lots of beautiful things in your garden. Oh, I didn't say, I'm noticing that here. At the end here, I ran out of cucumbers, so I have just a couple of delicata squash. I'm planting them kind of on the side here so that they'll hopefully trail down into this pathway. So yeah, I'm hoping. I'm gonna try to grow some melons in here. I've never done that before. Up here, up north, you usually can't grow melon type things without being undercover. So I don't know, I'm gonna give it a try. Don't know unless you try, right? We love melons, so we love any fruit. So I hope you guys are super busy. Yes, she followed me. I didn't realize she followed me until I got all the way to the end. She's eating grass. She needed her fiber. This grass tastes different. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I hope you guys are getting in your gardens and getting stuff planted. And if you're, more southern than me, you might even already be eating from your gardens, which would be super exciting. All right, I'm gonna go plant potatoes. So y'all have a blessed day.